Good morning, folks, and welcome to my channel. My name's Don, and today I want to take you back a few years, back actually into the 1970s, and talk a little bit about a movie that I watched back then that I think is still relevant today. It's kind of an interesting story in that back in the early 1970s, I actually started a bass club. It was one of the first BASS, B.A.S.S. chapters in the United States. In fact, I think it's still around today with many of the grandchildren of the original members. But that was up in Stowe, Ohio. We call ourselves the Stowe Bulldogs after our mascot in high school. Anyway, back then, as you may or may not remember, if you're old enough to remember, generally speaking, all the bass clubs held bass tournaments where you didn't get to pick your partner. Your partner was drawn the night before the tournament, and whoever it happened to be, that's who you were going to fish with for the following day. Unlike today, where most of the tournaments are team tournaments where you get to pick your partner. Sometimes back in those days, it was really a matter of luck if you happen to draw a guy that was really on fish, or conversely, if you happen to draw a guy that was using his spinning reel upside down. That's just the way, the way things go. Anyway, every year we would hold a banquet, and at that banquet we'd bring our wives, and it was a really big deal, a really big event, and we probably had 20, 25 members in our club, active members in our club at the time. But every year, the highlight wasn't that we gave out trophies or gag gifts to our members. Uh, the real highlight was watching a movie, and the movie was called Big Mouth. Now, this movie was made by a gentleman named Glenn Lau. If you've never heard of Glenn, he actually passed away years ago, but he left quite a legacy. He filmed this movie sometime back in the 70s, and most of it was filmed underwater in Ocala, Florida, where you may or may not know the water is extremely clear. And so as a result, the film itself is just incredible in the underwater scenes that he filmed. Um, in addition to Glenn, who was underwater most of the time, Homer Circle, a friend of his, was on the surface in a boat, often casting a lure. In fact, there's actually one sequence where uh, Homer Circle actually casts a crankbait, and as he's reeling it in underwater, Glenn witnesses a large bass, 5 or 6 pound bass, swim up, grab the crankbait, and spit it out. And yet Homer didn't feel a thing, didn't have any idea that he had a fish, big fish, grab his bait. It just goes to show you how lightning fast a strike can occur. And if you don't feel it, you can't set the hooks. And a lot of times bass will pick up a bait like that and they'll just spit it out. You never know they were there. But there's other scenes in the movie. There's my favorite scene actually is a mother duck going across the lake with her little ducklings, and a bass comes along and crashes on the last little duck in the line behind the mother duck. And then you watch underwater, you watch this little duckling struggle to get out of the mouth of this giant bass. And finally it does. And it hurriedly gets to the surface and scurries along the surface to get to land. But it's an outstanding movie. It really is. And I remember it originally came out on VHS, then they made it into a CD, then a DVD. I'm not sure if it's available for purchase anymore. I'm sure you could probably find a copy on eBay. Uh, we just happened to find a copy that we're going to include along with this video It's a little grainy. It's not the best quality. Uh, but if you love bass fishing, you will fall in love with this movie. And for the record, they actually improved the quality of the movie years later by making a second video, and that video is called Big Mouth Forever. In that video, they've done some colorization. They've changed a few other things, but it's still basically the same movie. But I guarantee you, if you'll take the time to watch this movie, not only will you enjoy the underwater scenes, but you'll actually learn a few things about largemouth bass. So thanks for taking the time to watch my channel today, and stay tuned and watch Big Mouth along with me, because I'll probably watch it again. And check the box below, and I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of exciting things coming up. And by all means, don't be afraid to leave some type of message and remarks, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the movie.